Yeah, 2022 was down again. 2019 was down. 2018 was down. So it's kind of been happening since I would say 2000. Well, 2020 was just a big crash in general because we've just had that whole pandemic in sense. But then since 2020, we've having an inflation that has been constantly positive instead of going downwards. Even in 2008, we only had an inflation of rate of like 4%, and then they went to very low rates to boost the economy. But like in 2022, we were at 8%, 9%, which probably came through the issues of having, needing to deal with COVID in a way that money printing was free. And over the past, at least the numbers I have from Macrotrends, we've been declining European growth since 2019, with the exception being 2021, when there was a huge influx of free money to try to battle the pandemic. So it's kind of been happening for a while, and I kind of been seeing it coming. And I think even recently, house prices are starting to go down as well, which kind of is a result of all of this, alongside the increases. But the good thing is I've seen Canada actually change their interest rates lower, which is great. So that sees that at least one country is starting to see a difference, or at least somehow a positive difference compared to what we currently have. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I see. But what about crypto world then? Web3, are we, do you think there is a way up still, and how far up? And is it even worth to be in the Web3 narrative these days?
well,
What's your personal feeling?
it's a question I've asked myself a lot over this year during my sabbatical.
Ah, you're in a
Um,
sabbatical. Wait,
I'm
okay.
finishing my sabbatical.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
realize that. Okay,
yeah, I'm finishing my sabbatical.
I see.
And it kind of is like, how do I say? Markets always go up and down. We are still higher than where we were 1 year like before. If you just look year over year to the exact same time, the markets are still higher right now than
Yeah.
they were exactly a year ago. Obviously, we crashed a bit, we rushed a little bit, but in the end, they're still higher. Like if you look to 2023, Bitcoin was at 25K in January, in October, sorry, and September. Well, now it's double and a half.
Yeah.
It's still a big difference. And Ethereum did not do as big of a jump, but still jumped up. So I don't know. It's a kind of easy to say, oh, we are in a bad cycle, but we are still, trend has still been upwards for the past 4 years. So I don't know. It depends. What is your time, your time frame? You look at it,
Yeah, yeah. Right. Good point.
and obviously you can say, oh, but we went way higher in 21. But yeah, in 21, we had a huge free money growth that affected not only crypto, but also general stocks. And, maybe there's some kind of a reset happening. Sure. Like stocks like Intel and Microsoft and all the big fours are starting to crash and others starting to step up. But I don't know how much different that is from reality of this is supposed to be a cycle anyway. And not only a crypto cycle, but just a general cycle. Like we had a hype period. The hype period is over. So for a lot of people who went through the hype period, myself included, it kind of feels very, very slow or not innovative now. But we should, but there's been periods since 2017 that things were happening. And we had, and don't forget between 2018 when we reached between 2018 when we first time got to an all-time high of over 1,000, in half a year later, it was already back at 200. And then it took roughly about 3-4 years to go back over 1,000.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
all these things are relative in terms of purely numbers. I once talked to someone who's been into Ethereum since basically Ethereum launch and from Berlin as well. And it just always stuck with me. He said, well, yeah, numbers go up, numbers go down. There's not much you can do against it. as long as people keep building things, at some point, some random guy or woman is going to build something new that is exciting and innovative that is just going to pop up and stick. And if it doesn't happen, well, we take our skills somewhere else.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely, yeah. And what do you think the most exciting thing is really happening in this whole field?
I think the push towards actually consumer apps is now happening, but not everybody is hyping on it yet. We can, like a big example was the Poly Market one was a great example on how this thing got quite huge, and most people did not even realize this was underneath a blockchain system. I think it
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
yeah, it's just a huge amount of applications that still need to be built while we have all the infrastructure. And even though I was not there in the early 2000s with the internet bubble, it just kind of feels quite similar. Like we first started to see all this big money going towards infrastructure and kind of anything that did anything with blockchain. That's kind of gone. Now it's more like, okay, show me your users and show me growth and show me numbers instead of, oh, cool, you know how to code. Here's 500,000.
yeah, for sure, definitely. So, is that your plan with Hacker Hotel? Is that you want to prove your growth of a certain time and then like raise money for it or do something more of like
No, not at
technological?
all.
Okay.
I'm not looking to raise money in a way that it's not the plan. Uh, I don't know exactly what the plan is in the very, very long term with Hacker Hotel for a simple reason, as in we don't have any product market fit yet, or we don't have any confirmations on anything of our thoughts. So we have no designated plan in that sense.
Okay,
It's
I get
more
it.
like see if it works, and if it works, that makes it worth to make a plan. Otherwise, it's just kind of, yeah, how can you make a plan for something that might die? You don't know. It's just a waste of time until it works.
You think it's a waste of time before it works?
Well, what's the point of making a plan if you already won't be able to execute a plan?
Well, the hope is that you will be executing the plan even if it changes, that you will still be creating,
Sure.
you know, and not like letting this go.
I mean, there's definitely a strategy on what to do, but in terms of that kind of a long-term plan, just things don't really work like that. I don't know many 1 year, 2 year, 3 year plans that actually happen unless you are part of a huge corporation where you are needing to deal with specific KPIs to get a yearly growth of 10% or 20% or something like
Yeah.
that. Then we're talking about a different kind of plan setting. But any startup you work with, more likely than not, shit is going to happen that is not inside the plan, and that might change the complete concept of the initial plan. So then the plan is invalid. Although you need to have a strategy, the strategy will definitely change the moment the tacticalness starts happening.
So do you feel that for Hacker Hotel strategy is changing?
We are still defining the strategy for the same reason that things have not been executed completely yet. We're still defining strategies. So I say, yeah, things are definitely changing.
Okay. Okay. All right, I guess that's the color I'd like to paint for this meeting, you know, in terms of like, okay, what's happening next, you know, if you guys don't really want my support at this time, then how can I, you know, support maybe like a long run type of vision, you know, if I'm not in day-to-day type of environment with you all, then how can we still keep the relationship going, you know, and have me like support you guys because I like you. You know,
That's very
I wouldn't be so tough with you guys if I wasn't caring, you know, about what I'm seeing, you know, and what I'm
So,
wanting
hey, I
to.
just also want to make clear that, whatever is being said, none of this is aimed towards who